Come, gather round, everyone. They're about to talk Disney. I am still so confused as to whether I'm going to eat at Connections or Creations. So the only way I can keep them straight is I have to think, okay, well, my mouth connects to my stomach, so I guess that's Connections.
So I call Catherine to see how dinner at the restaurant is going, and she says, I can't talk to you right now. I'm talking to Mickey. So I'm like, okay, here's the big cheese. I get it. And then she says, hold on, he wants to talk to you. So she FaceTimes me, and I'm FaceTiming with Mickey as I'm getting ready for the podcast.
I don't understand why people spend hard-earned money on a Mickey ice cream sandwich in the parks. I mean, we literally all have ice cream sandwiches in our freezers at home. We don't have Mickey bars. From the mind and creator of the Disney YouTube channel Living in Diz comes a whole new Disney podcast. Okay, can we talk some serious Disney here now? Nope. Get ready for all the Disney knowledge that you can handle. It's Cory. It's Lawrence. It's the DIZPod.
You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Hello, and welcome everyone to the DIZPod episode 61. I don't know, maybe 62. Who knows? We stopped counting, right, at this point?
Too many to count.
Yeah, let's just mention them every time we hit like 100 now or something like that.
There you go.
Something like that. Hello, everyone in chat that is participating live. We do this live because we do it for you, and we are happy to be here on this Mondays. And once again, it doesn't matter what time we start this thing. Always coming in on two wheels. But we're here and we're smiling and we're happy.
Sir, it's not Mondays.
Oh gosh, you know what? Okay, perfect. That is so perfect. I'm glad you mentioned that because my mind. Listen, we're gonna talk about something right now. The way I plan things, I'm always ahead. I'm always ahead of the game. I'll give you two examples. My mind has been so much in the last 2 hours of working on next week, and I know the DIZPod is supposed to be Mondays. There you go. I thought it was Mondays.
Right.
And many times when I work on the channel for the week ahead of time, as you know, and it's usually a Saturdays morning that I do it. I do most of my work for the channel on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that time that my mind is next week. Sometimes I have to remind myself where I'm going that day. You know, I'm so focused on working on like a Hollywood stream. I'm thinking I'm going to Hollywood, and then I'm like, oh no, wait a minute, we're going to Epcot today. So
yeah.
So I don't know anything else to do on my end. I don't hear an echo. I don't know, and they say it's like going bad on my end.
Interesting.
Do you hear it?
I do not.
Okay. Was that? I don't know. They say I'm echoing. Well, hey, we do this live, so sometimes this stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me just click off this and click back again. See. All right. How about now? We can check that now and see if we're good or not so good. There's no turning back now. Now. I don't hear any of that. Oh, Steve says it's bad.
Okay. And you're not hearing it on my end, folks?
It's like three Corys shortly when they said, I heard that during the intro. I texted you, but I don't hear anything now. Eric says he would troubleshoot. Of course. Or we cannot go on.
All right, let's do this.
Hey, Cosmo official, Pamela V, Steve Bullock, Jen W.
Let me know.
Okay,
now.
I don't hear you. Okay, I hear you now. Say something again.
Test 1 2 test.
They say you're fine.
Let's see.
All right, should I still talk?
Yeah, see if you have an echo on your side now.
All right. Hello, everyone. Oh, by the way, so for the recorded side of this, can you cut this out?
Yes.
Okay, so we can edit. All right,
Sure.
cool. Oh, better and good.
All right, good.
Eric said good. Can we get a few more goods to confirm? Oh, we got thumbs ups. All right now.
Love it.
Would it be easier for you to play the intro again and go right into it, or just start where we are?
No, we're good. We'll just start where we are.
All right. We really appreciate all your feedback, everybody, just like I do in the parks. I don't ever want to be going on a ride or talking away while walking somewhere and you all are getting lag or something. So only hearing one Cory now. That's all you can handle. Thank you all. All right. I'll kick right into it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey, everyone. It is so great to see you today. We do it live because we do it for you and anyone that watches on the rewatch, the re-listen, any of that. We appreciate all you just as much. So I want to remind you to make sure that you hit that comment, the comment button, right? You got to comment. Please comment. I am doing a very good job now of commenting on every comment that comes through over the last several weeks. I love commenting back, so comment because that really does help. Yeah, okay. So point, he's going to watch us while he's getting ready for the Ravens game. So especially for tonight, and if we continue on Mondays, that's following football games. So please, no updates. I'm going to go watch it recorded because I'm sure we'll go maybe 10, 20, 15 minutes into the game. So definitely no spoilers on that. So yeah, let's get right into it. Lawrence, it's rained too much here. I mean, we had a span where it didn't rain that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I scratched my head yesterday, scratched it again today, saying, well, I'm driving in a torrential downpour. And I'm like, why am I so irritated about this? It's Florida. It happens. But my sneakers got absolutely drenched and soaked 2 days in a row when I came really close to doing it again this afternoon, 2 times, going into a facility and tonight before the DIZPod coming into the house, raining again. And it's still raining. They said we're going to have a deluge of rain for, like a week's span. So here it is.
And while we were there this weekend, we had a little bit of rain. We hid inside the Emporium. Luckily, it didn't start raining until we got to the Emporium. So we were able to hide out there. And then that was Sunday. And then Monday, it rained. Where were we? I don't know, but it rained that day too. Oh, we were on the bus. We were leaving Animal Kingdom, picking up our magnet. And we, as we got to the front, like you could really see the wind starting to pick up. And I was like, oh, because I had left my book bag at the resort with Bell Services. So we had no ponchos. We had no umbrellas. We were just going to be stuck. So we were rushing to the bus to get back to Caribbean Beach. We made it to the bus. It had just started raining, and then it was a light rain, so we were fine. But we ended up not getting to the pool again that day. So, but we did. We'll talk about it later in This Week in the Parks.
I feel like this whole episode is This Week in the Parks.
I know. I was going to play it actually in the beginning because it really will be mostly This Week in the Parks.
Jill would like some rain. I will send most of it to you for sure.
Jill, are you not getting rain out there? They actually, our water company had sent us a warning. This was the beginning of the summer, and then the last month it is all shown up. So we're good now. We're good now. Erin Victoria Fletcher has a question for us. By the way, folks, if you're watching on Living in Diz or Park Bros, make sure to head over to the DIZPod channel so that you can participate in our poll tonight of where are you watching from. It will only pick up answers that are put into the DIZPod channel. That's going to be our main channel for the show from now on. We'll still have the other channels showing up, but we want to really focus on that and have the show live on its own. So this portion of the show will only be interactive with the DIZPod channel. And I did put that in the chat. So you can just click on that.
It's like
link,
this.
head over.
It's like this. If you keep hanging out on Living in Diz and you keep hanging out on the Park Bros and you're not going to the DIZPod channel that we really need to grow, you're that person that we have to still release movies and in VHS because you're not willing to get the DVD player. It's like, come on, go get the DVD player and join those who are cutting edge.
Cory has a laser disc in his theater. He's still watching.
It's funny. I've been so past that. I've already owned and discarded laser discs and players.
So yeah, if you're watching on the DIZPod channel, you'll be able to participate in that. We'll have one more of these later on towards the end of the show. So yeah, very excited about tonight. We've got some good stuff to talk about. But let me get to Erin's question here before I lose it. Where did
I haven't been to these parks either in forever or ever. So you may have to. I can't answer that for you, Erin. I'm a Disney guy.
What is your favorite ride to go to at Six Flags? What would it be now? Wow, yeah. Man, the last time I went to Six Flags, I don't even know. We have Carowinds here, which is down in Charlotte, and I haven't even been there in forever. So yeah,
I'm going to take a stab at it. 1992 maybe is when I went to Six Flags, New Jersey, and I'm going to say the Batman ride. And here's one coaster I tried that scared so much crap out of me I would never do it again, and it's Superman. That thing is like an inversion, and I feel like you come out of your seat. So that's the best I can do on that.
And that's the problem with Six Flags is that with Six Flags, depending on what park you're in, you might have a Batman ride in, say, Six Flags America, but in Great Adventure in Jersey, it's a Batman ride, but it's different. So we would really be of no help unless we knew the exact park. But anybody in chat, please feel free to answer. I'll pop those answers up there.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing with sharing a brain.
Yeah. Just looking for some answers yet. Nope. Nitro. No. So 86 says Nitro in Six Flags Great Adventure up in New Jersey.
Krubaka in chat says, what if I like VHS tapes and trying to use the track feature on the player? You're just a collector at this point. You might as well get records too.
Exactly.
From Walmart.
Well, but you know what? They're back.
I know, that's what I mean. You can go to Walmart and get the record player and the records, the vinyls.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to last. I don't know anybody that's buying them.
No, I don't know. Mom put in Kenya, Africa. Did you go to Africa and not tell me? What's happening?
Is that where she's watching?
That's what she put in, I guess. Another question from Erin. She says, what is your favorite Madonna song? Either Like a Virgin, Material Girl, Vogue, or Dress You Up? Or, wow, Dress You Up. Wow, that's a good one. Or Like a Prayer, Live to Tell, or Papa Don't Preach. Wow.
All right. Well, hey, welcome to the podcast. Definitely keep the questions to Disney
Yeah.
questions, and I'll answer this one for you. It's Crazy for You. There's a million great Madonna songs, but Crazy for You is just a classic.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing 80s night, so uh and I don't think she did any Disney. She didn't do any Disney, did she?
You know, I don't think so. I was even thinking of like Dick Tracy, but that was, I believe, Warner Brothers, and I
Uh
don't think Warner Brothers ever had an association with Disney.
yeah, but that was in Hollywood Studios. There was a Dick Tracy thing in Hollywood Studios, so when it first
Really?
opened. But
I
remember,
mean,
Studios then was not only Disney, so that could have been.
yeah, well, I mean, if somebody wants to fact check that, they can fact check it.
Yeah,
We can see about that, and you can also check and see if it was Warner Brothers,
right.
because I think it was, but that's the movie geek in me.
So we have a
I
guest.
used to walk up and down. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, we have a guest, and nobody in chat knows who it is, I don't think.
They don't. I was gonna say I used to walk up video rental aisles and look at the boxes, and I could tell what year it came out
Mm,
in a range, like 1983 or something, or it may be 1980 to like 1990. I'm pretty good.
gotcha. I would not be. I didn't work in a theater or a movie rental place.
Those are the fun spots.
Yeah, I just did retail for 25 years.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's considered retail.
So would you like to bring our guest in? Would you like to announce our guest?
Sure. Coming at you just minutes from Disney, and he doesn't shy away from letting you know about it, how long it takes him to get home, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow. He loves tooting his horn in multiple types of shows, but we'll leave that to your imagination. Bring him on in. It's Squid Neil, everybody.
Hold on.
And drum roll, or maybe a trumpet toot. There he is. There's the man. Always with a plan, I think. What's up, Neil?
What's the word, gentlemen?
Neil is looking.
It has been over a year that we've been doing the show, and it's been over a year that we've been waiting to get Neil on an episode. So we are all excited tonight to have you on.
Well, I figured, since I'm hanging out with movie stars, I'd wear the shades.
Speaking of movie, the movie is making great progress, so it's well on track for the fall release. So I just thought of that. Got an update today.
Neil, your contract will be coming in the mail there for you to sign.
Okay.
Neil doesn't have a recorded performance in the film yet, but
this is terrible.
He's going to get it done.
Yeah, my memory is definitely fleeting, and I will get that done. And I wanted to make sure that this camera would work and sound good. And I'm thinking maybe I will just go direct to the computer and then just send it to you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it does look good. So yeah, you might do that for it.
Yeah, I think this is a better camera than the one on my phone for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I want residuals. Thank you, 86JB. Would you be my agent?
Steve said, "Now, Neil, we only have 2 hours."
I'm on my best behavior. I'm following the gentleman's lead. They know what they're doing, unlike me.
So I always wanted to know from Neil, like, how did you get to the point where you decided this is it? I'm moving to have Disney in my backyard. You worked a long time as a teacher up in New York. We know that. But where do you get to the point that you go, this is it? This is my plan. How long ago was that your plan?
It was a very difficult decision. That's first of all. But Alyssa and I had gone back and forth uh, for quite some time. There was actually a time, you know, well, many times when we came down here that we thought about, well, should we move down here and transfer and all? But you can't do that once you're vested in the system and you're on your way to retirement and you have a pension and all that, and you have children. You just can't do that. You have to do that young and
Hmm.
start your career down here. So things really got moving, you know, during the well, right when the pandemic hit. Uh, so the last performance I did was literally the weekend before New York closed down, and I played with my band. We flew down to Palm Beach to perform in the Palm Beaches, and the wild thing was the same flight the night before. There was a big to do because a gentleman had been on that flight and had tested positive, and he was on the plane anyway. And like I think they arrested him when he got off the plane, and here we were, a full band going down to Palm Beach, freaking out like, oh, this is bad, we shouldn't be doing this, but we were doing it anyway. And nobody knew at this point, what was coming. Who
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah.
All right, so we go, and I come back, and everything was over. It was over. And, you know, obviously I was retired already. Listen, I had been retired from teaching already, but I was still performing all the time in New York, where I did very well. And now there was nothing, absolutely nothing. Everything that was on the books was gone. So we're sitting there, and Robbie, the older one, works for Disney. Lucas, he was going to the University of Miami. Both our kids are down here. My mom lives down here. You know, the only person that I do miss terribly is my sister. She's still back in Long Island, in New York. Uh, but we're going back and forth. What should we do? What should we do? Oh, I can't leave New York. I love playing. Well, we made the decision. We said, we're going to try and sell the house. So we got into working on the house. And we originally had one buyer, and that fell through. So we were going to we had a realtor come, and real estate closed. As soon as real estate picked up again, we said, all right, let's call them back in. They took pictures, the whole 9 yards of the house. I thought it would take a year to sell the house. We had seen Victor in January before the pandemic because we were thinking about it. And, you know, in one day, the house was gone. Uh, it was sold. And at that point, we had to get on our horses. We contacted Victor, and we started looking at the information he had given us. And yeah, our son Lucas was home. He's an architect. Uh, we zoned in on a particular area and started looking at houses there virtually, and everything was done virtually. I don't know how most of you feel about that. When things are done virtually, it was scary, uh, but luckily, the home that we picked, it wasn't built, so there were no pictures. It was
Hmm.
dirt. It was a frame, not even a frame. I'm sorry, it was a cement foundation at that point, uh, and it worked out. We just did it, and you wanted to talk about scary things. Now, I don't know what happened. Like, I've never talked to Cory about when he went from Maine to Florida and work and all that. Now, obviously, I'm a retired educator, but I'm still playing. Judge my lip is still there, and I knew nobody here. Zero. No connections. And at that point, my family and my trumpet are my life, basically. So it was kind of scary coming here, not knowing anybody. But it was like in New York, nobody was working.
Mm-hmm.
And when we came down here, it was a different story. But Alyssa and I we were really hesitant to do anything. It took months for me to actually leave the house with my trumpet and go to what we call a jam session,
Mm-hmm.
where other musicians are and other musicians come out to play. And little by little, I got back into the scene down here, but it was quite an interesting thing. Moving like Lawrence, like if you move from Queens to Brooklyn, or from Queens to Long Island, or even Queens to the Bear Mountain area or whatever, or to Jersey, you're still close
Mm-hmm.
to what you know.
Yep.
Now, the only thing we knew about Orlando was Disney World, SeaWorld, and Universal. No people.
Right.
Nobody. Now, well, I'll correct myself. Our friends in the Disney YouTube community we knew, and they certainly gave us the impetus to want to do this, because we kind of, we well, that's how I met Cory. We knew we had friends in the Disney community, and that helped a lot. That helped a lot. I mean, Donna, we when we moved down here, the house wasn't built. We lived with my mother for a while, and when we came back up here, basically nothing was here yet. We couldn't tell them when we were closing. It was all in storage in New York,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Donna and Richie were nice enough to bring us a folding table and chairs. So the first people that did something nice for us were from the Disney community. And truthfully, for those of you who were watching, and I, you, how do I have to look at my phone to see the chat? Is that the best thing to do?
You
I don't
can.
know if
You
you can
should see it on your screen too, in
How?
the right-hand corner. Right-hand corner. Comments. Click on
Oh,
comments.
wait,
Do
wait,
you see
wait.
that?
Let's see. Ah, now I could see all of you. Hold on now. Now it's another world. Gentlemen, I see Theo. I see Benjamin, Dana, Melissa, Pamela V. Wow, you're all here. Okay, 86 JB. So now all these names that are here now, truthfully, now it's very interesting. I'm not a celebrity, Dana. They're reading glasses, so they look cool when they're sunglasses. So basically, uh, you know, talking to Cory, I was really excited. Oh, can't wait to meet you, and all that. And there were obviously, I know a lot of people in the in the Disney YouTube community, and we had met them on vacation and all, and that helped us a lot. But it was really scary. Hi, Greg. Greg, this is for you, by the way. Hey, Kim. Uh, it's very interesting. But like I said, we moved from Brooklyn to Long Island. But Brooklyn to Long Island
Yeah.
is a different thing. Getting in your car or renting a van, taking your two cats, your guinea pig, and your valuables, and putting your life in storage. And we had a nice house in Long Island with a ton of stuff, that all went into storage is not easy. You have to box things. We had over 250 boxes when we moved. 250 boxes. Insane. If we were to move now, we'd probably have 700 boxes because of all the Disney stuff we've purchased. Yes, it's the ante has been upped. It's pretty intense. But this whole trip now, Lawrence, I don't know how you moved to where you moved, because to me, like Orlando, we knew Disney, and Disney was a security blanket.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
no matter what happened, we could go to see Mickey Mouse. You know, we could go to Epcot, which we love. But to go to the Carolinas is like, y- you know, there's nothing like that there.
Yeah. Well, for me, moving to where we are now, it was somewhat easy because mom was here already. My youngest brother was here, and I had lived in North Carolina, um, back in the late '90s. So it wasn't totally foreign land. Like if I had chosen to move to Orlando, I would have had, a couple family members there, but that was really it. Not many people there. Um, yeah, those big moves. I mean, you say your mom was there and um, Lucas was going to school, but they were in Miami, which is still
Mom,
3 hours away.
yeah, well, Miami, where Luke was, is 4 hours. Mom is about three and a half.
Okay.
Uh, you know, now where Lucas lives now, he's in the city. Uh, if you drive, like we're Brightline people now.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
get on the high speed rail. It's 4.5 hours to get down to Miami. I'm, I've driven long drives as a musician many times. I'm used to it, but I'm not used to making. I drove with a good friend of mine from Queens, who was in our band, and we drove together for a long, long time. Corey's back.
There he is.
Corey's never lost. He's just in Corey land. Don't you worry about Corey.
Nope.
He'll always find his way back. Now, can he hear us? That I don't. Do you hear us, Corey?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Okay. All
Yes.
right.
Do you
Okay.
hear
All
me?
right. Yeah, I was seeing a little bit delay. Now it's gone. Okay. You had a little. I don't know. Could be my computer. My computer's 100 years old. But so gentlemen, just let me know. I'm going to shut up in a moment. How is the camera and the sound?
Great. Great.
It's
You're
all clear. All
Yep.
right. Good. Beautiful.
Yep.
All right.
Looking good.
Well, that's
Yeah, it
the
looks great.
story. Corey, why don't you take a second and let us know like, you went from Maine to where the town you live in. Like, what was it like to go? I've been in your town, and you talk about the cows. So, what was it like going? I know Maine is more rural than where we lived in New York, but like, was it for work that you moved, or because this was a place you knew about?
So our path to get here wasn't direct, and it's funny listening to both of you because I think we ultimately made the choice because of security. We didn't know anything about a YouTube community, but we knew Disney was there. But basically, I'll never forget this. I'll tell this part quick, but I'll never forget this. And I don't usually watch The Bachelor, but I was on the couch with Tammy on a Bachelor night finale for a few minutes, whatever it was, and I can remember whatever season it was. The bride or bride to be was driving on the California coast on one of those mountains that has the road kind of carved into it. And she's just narrating in voiceover, saying, wow, this is so exciting. I'm just here starting a brand new life in a totally different place. Tammy looked at me and said, it's time to go. We could do that. It's time to go. And I just said, okay, where do you want to go? Which still surprises me to this day because we were very well established financially. It was the height of where the highest we've ever been with everything. The kids were young. We had a beautiful, huge home, a nice chunk of land. Uh, the side businesses were going really well. And I just said, okay. And so I started looking immediately. Do you want to go back to Massachusetts where we're from? She said, no. And property was crazy. And that's why we got out of Massachusetts to start with. So next I said, well, San Diego's always sounded good. How about San Diego? I had a friend out there. I messaged him. I said, "What's the average mean cost of a home?" And he was like, "$425, and it's a patch. It's a patch, and you won't even get grass." And I was like, "Okay, I'm out on that one." So my next choice was, well, how about Arizona? I don't know why. I've just always been interested in Arizona, and looked into that a little bit, thinking house prices might be lower. They really weren't that much better. So I did this. I Googled what are the most thriving cities in America. You want to know what number one was? Charlotte, North Carolina. So I was like, okay, that's the move. I went so far to do it that I actually got licensed for physical therapy there. Never practiced a day, but technically my record says I was a therapist in North Carolina. So we put the house up for sale the first time, and Tammy got cold feet. And it's kind of like what you said, Neil. She was like, "We don't know anybody there." And, I tried to make an argument about it, but quickly gave up, and she didn't really want to do North Carolina. So I was back to the drawing board. And finally, I was like, I thought about Florida, but she's going to complain it's too hot. So this is how I sold Tammy on this. And I'm not the only one that's done this. Somebody else told me this story too, but I can't remember who it was. I said to her, "Listen, how about Florida?" And right away, "No, it's too hot. It's too hot there." I said, "Well, think about this. While we're living up here in Maine, it's in the house 9 months of the year. Snow everywhere. You don't see the grass. We're in the house anyway. Think of Florida as 3 months. They say 3 or 4 months in the heat. That's your winter. You're not going to be in the house all the time. You can go in and get cooled off. You can do things in the morning, the night." And that sold her immediately. She's like, "You know what? That makes sense." So, me being a Disney lover too, I don't know why I did this, and I'm glad she reeled me in. I started looking at places like Tampa, yeah, several hours from Disney, and she kept reeling me in. She's like, "No, Central Florida, Central Florida. Oh, we can just drive over there." No, Central Florida. So that is how we ended up here. Now, the drive, I still can't believe I did it. We were going to hire movers to come, but I had a coworker say, "It would really save you a lot of headaches if you just rented a truck and drove it down yourself." So ultimately, I did that. I told Tammy about it. She agreed. So she packed the 2 babies in the back seat. She followed me the entire way down. I had like a 32-foot U-Haul while pulling my truck with having no experience in doing something like this. So I went down as cautiously as I could, where I only wanted to pull off the highway at truck stops. I did not want any part of backing up. That's one thing I could not do, is I couldn't even back up my John Deere in Maine if I had a trailer attached to it to throw scraps in. I'd have to get out
No
and pick it up and
reverse.
move it. Nope.
No reverse.
Nope. I consider myself a top-notch driver. I have a perfect record. I cannot back up with something attached. It doesn't work. So I'll tell you a couple stories. So we get into, all right, I'm going to say a name. Fishkill, New York.
Fishkill. Know it very well.
I will never forget Fishkill because I get onto this highway and I'm looking at signs and it's like no trucks allowed. And I'm like, okay,
Uh-oh.
do I count for that? Am I big enough to be a truck not allowed?
You
And,
were on with commercial plates. You were a truck.
yeah, so I'm driving along and we
Oh
get
no.
off. Yeah, we're looking for our hotel. We get off. So far, things have been kind of smooth. We had a hard time getting out of Maine. Traffic was nuts for some reason on a Sunday. So I pull off and I come into this gas station where it looks pretty good, but I can't have anybody in front of me. Nobody could be parked in the first 4 spots in front of the 7-Eleven. Little Tammy gets out and she stands in front of on the curbing or whatever as the cars would come up to the storefront, and she pointed at him and say, you got to move. My husband needs to turn around." And everybody was listening. except for one guy. He's like, huh? Huh? She goes right up to his window. She goes, you need to move. So he moved, and I got out of there okay. But I get back on the highway in no time. Tammy calls me and says, a deer just ran into the side of our car. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, we're okay. We're okay. And I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, she's, I see red lights behind me. Lawrence, do I have to adjust my wire?
Yeah, I think it's your cable. Yeah, check that. Yeah.
Okay. Where did
Yeah.
Neil go? Where did Neil go?
He probably went to Epcot, knowing him.
Yeah, it was time. It's time for dinner. So I'll finish up here. So yeah, Dana says she loves hearing these stories. I hope you're all enjoying this because this what you don't know about our adventure. So red flashing lights behind me, and I'm like, oh no, what did I do? So I pull over, and let's just say that the female officer that pulled me over, I pulled open the door, and she had some really bad words to say to me. Yeah.
If you are a commercial plate, even if you were a motorcycle and had commercial plates, you cannot be on parkways. Yeah.
No. And lots of people don't realize that. I've seen on the southern state, Lawrence will know what I'm talking about. So the southern state starts in the beginning in Queens, New York, and goes all the way out, probably to, oh my goodness, how far? The southern state ends around Hexa State Park, around there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the southern state is a parkway, no trucks. Why? Cory, why wouldn't they allow trucks on a parkway?
It's obvious. It's so obvious. It's such a small freeway. It's 2 lanes and it's small. And I don't think you can pull over.
It's the overpasses. The overpasses are not tall enough.
Tiny.
You see, when you live in
I
Brooklyn,
didn't even think of that.
right? When you live in Brooklyn, you don't think about these things because there's no overpasses in Brooklyn. You might see an L train, a train with an L, and the trucks won't go under it, but usually they're taller. But the overpasses. So what would happen is, these huge trucks would go, and you'd hear in the morning, you knew you were doomed commuting because they crashed into the overpass and they were stuck. They had it. The cops had to come deflate the tires and all that. But we would see many times, like the Long Island Expressway is 4 trucks, so you're allowed there, but you're not allowed on the Northern State Parkway, and you're not allowed on the Belt Parkway. You are allowed on the Van Wyck Expressway. It's all these things are all based on how high the overpasses are and what could go under them. And that's the wild thing about it. And when you said that, I knew what you were going to say. That you know, we've seen so many cops pull over people in U-Hauls. And you're always like, "Come on, are you stupid? You got a commercial plate." But people don't realize that U-Haul or Ryder, these trucks are commercial plates. Even when you rent a van, they're commercial. And even like, I know all of you watching, many of you will go to Home Depot or Lowe's, and you could rent one of their flatbeds, their pickup trucks for cheap, $20 an hour, $25 an hour. And, if you buy a lot of stuff, you could throw it on there, leave your car there, boom, boom. You can't go on the highway. They're commercial plates. If you get pulled over, you get a moving violation. It's a bummer. You get a ticket and you're like, oh no, I saved all this money renting it, and now I'm getting hit with a violation or whatever. Very interesting. So Tammy, you killed a deer? Is that what I'm hearing? You're a deer killer? Where's Tammy? I see her writing.
Yeah, she said, that freeway made me mad because I had a brand new car driving down the freeway and or driving to Florida, and yet this deer runs into the side of me. We never saw the deer. We didn't see the deer, in the road or anything. But she did have hair or fur from the deer stuck in the handle of the car, the door,
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. There are
and I don't think
roads.
we had any dents.
Yeah, it's coming from where you live. Obviously, where you lived in Maine, I'm sure you saw moose and bear. Yeah, because when we played in Maine, uh, we took vans and we saw moose like in the road. It was really bizarre, and they're huge. But coming from upstate, especially the way you were coming down, if you went through Fishkill. Now I'm not sure what road you were on. There are a number of roads coming from Maine that you could be on, but were you on the throughway? Did you take the New York
Uh,
State Thruway coming down?
oh, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, because there might be a sign for Fishkill. There are more local places. No dents, just fur. Sure,
Mm.
Tammy. Injuring Bambi. Poor Bambi.
See, that's how we bring it back to Disney. she injured
Yes,
Bambi.
we're back to Disney. But that's very cool. So we all have different reasons and different thoughts as to how we ended up here. And I will tell you folks, and Alyssa and I just got back uh, an hour ago, half hour ago from Magic Kingdom, and it was a rainy Magic Kingdom. It was. Uh, there are moments where I say to myself, "What the heck did we do?" Uh, you know, People are different everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and hi Taylor, and the person you're seeing, you know, with the weird sunglasses, you know, he is from where he was. You know, you can't change yourself. Like I can't suddenly become a Southerner. No offense to Southerners, Southerners are them. I mean, Cory and Tammy adjusted way better than me. They say you all the time. You've never heard me say you all unless I'm making fun of Cory and Tammy. It just doesn't come
Well,
out of my mouth.
you know what? It started out with me forcing it just to be funny and have some fun with it, but sometimes I just choose to use it now.
Yeah, no, no. Listen, I'm being honest with you. Even coming from Mass and from Maine is a lot different than coming from. I'm not making fun of myself, but Brooklyn, New York is like Brooklyn, New York. The TV shows about it and all. We're a certain kind of people. It is what it is. We'll make fun of it. Like a Yankee fan is a Yankee fan, and it's because they're from New York. It's not because they're. Yeah, of course there are Yankee fans all over the world. I know that, but the real Yankee fans, when you go to Yankee Stadium, drinking the beer and having 20 hot dogs, they grew up, in the Bronx, or as we call it, the Bronx. And it's really hard to sometimes face that you're out of that environment. It's really hard because the comfort zone for Alyssa and I is certainly not where we live. It's not, and it will be 4 years. Yes, EB, it's true. Uh, Gen W, I agree with you, but I have to tell you, growing up where I grew up, if somebody said you all to you instead of yo, what's up or something, you made fun of them. You made fun of them. Like, where you from? The South? What are you? Are you from the land of Dixie? What's going on here? I mean, were you born on the other side of the Mason Dixon line? I mean, we would rib people for saying that because Brooklynites they're it's kind of like now Billy Joel's not from Brooklyn, but he is a New Yorker. if you listen to Billy Joel in concert and the way he talks or when he's interviewed, you get a real idea. Like, this is a superstar, but he is a New Yorker. There's no way around it. And I'm not putting anybody else down. No, I mean, I'm sure that Greg lives in California, and I've been to California. The people from California uh, are are great people. Um, but in the end, uh, and there's people from Maine. I got friends from Maine that used to play in the band with me. And the only difference between he and I was, he hunted, and that's what they do up there, I guess. There's a lot of hunting. Being in Brooklyn, what was I going to hunt? you know, a bowling ball, a slice of pizza. So we all got our different things. So when you move, you really have to think: are you going to be able to handle the adjustment? And so I ask you in the chat. You're writing. I mean, it's a podcast, but do you think that I've adjusted? Do you think Alyssa and I have adjusted?
No.
I don't
No.
know. Have we adjusted, Cory?
No.
So,
No.
so let me bring this up because Dana asked this question, and it kind of goes along with the question I was going to ask. So she says, do you recommend moving to Orlando solely to be close to Disney, or is the grass always greener? And what I was going to ask is, so after you decide to make this move, and you're getting to go to Disney, does that then start to wear off, or is it still enough that I live right there close to Disney? Because my thing is, right, everybody's always like, oh, you're going to move you're going to move to Florida to be near Disney. And I'm like, well, I still have a job here. I'd have to get a job there. The job I have now, I'm hitting 8 years now, so you're going to have to start over if I decide to do that. So not going to happen. I mean, Catherine's got years before she can retire from the state. So, did when you got there, at what point did you go, yeah, this was the right move?
Okay, so we get here, and we look at this house, and we're blown away by the house. Okay, our house back in New York was built in 1961 or two. It was a high ranch. It was in a beautiful area, um, in Long Island. The schools were rated a 10. We never had to worry about the education our kids were getting. And and the move from Brooklyn to Long Island had a lot to do with the plan to have children, because the schools mean a lot. They mean a lot, which for you younger folks who might think about moving here, yes, it's getting better. And truthfully, where we live, close to Disney, everything is brand new. So there's brand new high schools, a brand new elementary school just opened up in our area, brand new middle schools. So it's attracting a better quality educator. But, and I'm not putting Florida down as far as education, but for years, they don't pay. They don't pay. We did very well as educators in New York. In Florida, the pay for a teacher is nasty. So you get what you pay for. And if you have young kids, you have to put that thought in your mind, and you have to make sure that where you move, your kids will be comfortable going to school there.
Yeah.
That's very important. So we get here, and New York is locked down still. And the first time we went out to go do a shop, like, Alyssa never left the house. I left the house during the pandemic with gloves, masks, and every time I went back into the house, spraying myself all over the place with everything. We go to Florida and we go to this area and the parking lot is full. And we're like, what's going on here? I can't understand this. These people are crazy. And, you know, at this point, I've adjusted more to the way of the folks here. And they're, what should I call it? Free spirit? Yes, free spirit. We'll call it that. Free spirit. At the beginning, it was tough, but definitively, folks, getting into our car and being on Disney property in 10 minutes takes the edge off of any question that I have. And Alyssa will never leave this house. Like, I mean, I'm not bragging at all. We sold our home. We were able to get a beautiful home that's brand new, right? Disney owned this land at one point. We're literally 5 minutes from Flamingo Crossing, 10 minutes from the gate to Disney. We're on Disney property. That takes the sting out of anything being uncomfortable because we could go into Fantasyland anytime we want. And Lawrence, we're retired. You know, we paid our dues for years and working in the inner city, and it paid off. You know, it's kind of like the lottery ticket. You know, I mean, I never won playing the lottery, but you know, working hard, etc., got us here. And you know, hey, listen, you were just here this weekend. You get off that plane, you get onto Disney property, man. Everything that you were thinking about that was a bummer is gone.
Yep.
It's gone. You know, and the cool thing is, like, I know you folks, you guys like to plan, you know, and you know, Greg likes to plan. I know everybody likes to plan. Alyssa and I don't plan. We just do. We don't plan. We don't think about planning. Like, what's the plan today? You know what the plan is? We woke up. We're going to Magic. It was raining. We're going home. We'll go back tomorrow if we want.
Yeah.
We don't have to think about, oh, well, we only have 3 days here. We only have 7 days. No. So being near Disney removes a lot of the difficulties that I have at times for what I gave up musically and friend-wise. But I've met a lot of friends, you know, so, you know, it's cool. Does it feel like every day is a vacation there, Neil? Greg, it does feel like every day is a vacation, but sometimes when you go to your mailbox and you open it up, you know, and there's a letter in there from somewhere, it's not a vacation, you know. You still got to pay your bills. You still have to vacuum your house. You still have to clean the bathrooms. You still have to take care of your car. You still have to go to the doctor. You're still living your life, but you have the escape.
Yeah.
Anytime. And we drive through the Disney gate every day. So every day, just think about that. You're driving past Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and either Donald, Goofy, Pluto, every day. No matter where we go, we pass.
You know, there was not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before that. Text Neil and I, told him what our plans were. Cory wasn't going to be in the parks because his level of pass he's blocked out that week, and we were going for Christmas, so we were going to be in Epcot New Year's Eve and Magic on Christmas Day, or excuse me, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And Neil's like, "All right, I'll come over and meet you." Now, it was cold that year. I think it might have been 32, 33, something like that on Christmas Eve. And here comes Alyssa and Neil. And, we chatted for a little bit near Test Track. We went and got on the land. And then he was like, all right, well, I'll let you guys do your thing. We're gonna go grab some food, and that was it. Neil came to Epcot just to meet me. We rode Living with the Land together, and that was it. You know, that's Neil. Neil is living the life we all want to. So, but like
Well, I live here. I live here, and I say I still want to retire like Neil. All
Right.
I need to do is get closer to Disney and not have to work anymore, and
Yeah.
we'll be doing the same thing.
Yeah. But like Neil said, he put in a lot of time, put in a lot of hard work in some tough areas, and it's paid off for the two of them. So, um, and I'm glad that he's part of living in Diz because he's Neil is a great friend. And it's not even been 3 years that I know Neil, but Neil was the very first person that I ever saw on a Disney live stream. Because he was holding the channel, the camera, and it was focused on Neil, and he was the first person I ever saw on a Disney live stream. So,
I'm sorry to do that to you.
Well, we still got him.
That's
still
right.
got him, so
That's right.
something worked there. Dana in chat says, I think a lot of us get into a money is no object situation when we get to Disney. How do you manage that when you're so close to the parks all the time? It's easy. Alyssa gets Pandora. He buys the dinners. Neil doesn't buy a lot of Disney merch, I feel like.
No, the shirts you see me wear, it's very rare that I'll buy a shirt. I do love Spaceship Earth, as I've said it numerous times. So if I do see something in particular that in Epcot with Spaceship Earth on it, uh, I might say, okay, get it for me. The kids and Alyssa always want me to buy another shirt, and I say no. Let Alyssa buy it. I don't care. But Dana, the truth of the matter is, Dana, uh, we could go ahead and save a lot more money if we were more conscious about what we were doing here as far as buying things. But Alyssa worked for many years in the New York City school system. If she wants to buy something, who the heck am I to tell her no? And you've heard me say this before. For a good marriage, be it a Disney marriage or not a Disney marriage, what's hers is hers. What's mine is hers. So luckily, we're in a position, Dana, at this point where we can do these things. And, you know, you have to sacrifice when you're younger. Uh, I didn't, I mean, I worked every week. I played many nights a week and I worked every weekend. So I wasn't around a lot, to hang out with my kids. And, you know, you got to justify doing that. I mean, my kids will look at me and go, yeah, you were never here, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, dudes, I was, out there, driving 4 hours to get the money to make your lives better. So everything, everything is relative. So at this point, we're able to do things without really thinking about it. You kill yourself, and then I mean, you can't just look at life and say at this point, okay, let's just leave it all for the kids. The kids are going to be fine. Like, I mean, they'll do fine, from Alyssa and I and from themselves. They do have to. I mean, my life was not an easy life. I mean, my parents never owned a home, and I never knew any better, to be honest with you. I thought we were millionaires. You know, when you're growing up in it, you don't know. Uh, our children will be in a different situation, than that. Did my parents not work hard? They worked real hard, but for some reason, we're able to do this. Yeah, many of my shirts are classified as antique, Steve, and our son Lucas steals many of them. He steals a lot of them. Thank you, Dana.
All right. Let's get into a little bit of a recap here for our adventures this past week in the parks, where we did not even a lot of food and wine, didn't we? Boy, did we eat.
It
It
was
was
cool.
an eating extravaganza. We had a good
It was
time.
cool. It was good. You got there real early. I was real proud of you. When you texted me at 8:15 a.m. that you were going to be there at 9, I was like, whoa, I can't believe he's really doing it. And you did it.
Well, if I was a single guy doing this living in Diz thing, I would probably rope drop every Saturdays. So
Well,
there's
but
too many
you're
people to get out of the
blessed.
house.
You're blessed with your family. So, you know, you know, Tammy, Jillian and Jacob. So their clock is a little different. What are you going to do?
Oh, I mean, hey, look what I'm competing with. I have a wife that loves to sleep, loves to sleep. And then I've got 2 kids that stay up all night while we're sleeping. And then to try to get them out to Disney for 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning is almost impossible. It is impossible. So that's what I deal with. So you all know, listening and watching now, the reason why our live streams start at 3:30, the time changes. It's because I'm gunning for a certain time, and then we have to push it forward because one individual isn't quite ready yet.
So
I know I shared one cocktail with Lawrence, but Cory and Neil, have you ever had a cocktail at Food and Wine? No, but I did have a drink on Disney property for the first time ever when we did the Sip Savor Sparkle live stream with Susie Q and Ruben G a few months ago. So
Well, I will say that the other day, Alyssa and I went back to Epcot, and they had, oh, where were we? Was it America? There was I don't drink. I don't drink. Okay. But there was a beer
you were looking
that
at a beer with me, and you said you had to come back and try it. Was that actually in Africa, like the Outpost?
I don't know. All I know is this particular beer had like this crazy name and had this interesting taste to it. So I said, I actually got it. I actually got this beer, and it was a flavored beer,
mm,
and I drank it, and it was really good. But I am a cheap date, so the reality is I bought the little one. You could buy the big beer or the little teeny weeny one. Had nothing to do with money. It had to do with, do I drink this big one and make a fool out of myself? No, 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 no. We're going to take the little one and taste it. Maybe it tasted like watermelon or root beer. They got all these different flavored beers. And it is amazing, this particular festival. When we'll talk about food, if you are into drinking beer or different drinks, there's some, or wine. There's some great stuff that's there. The Food and Wine. It's incredible. If you just take away the food, Cory, it's an interesting thought. We always look at food. I wonder how everybody would feel, even if we don't drink it all. Obviously, we're not going to drink it. We'll be sloshed. But to go around and look at the different things that you folks could drink, and I mean, we can't taste it all, but we could
Yeah.
certainly show you the possibilities.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I when I went around, I showed every menu and the drinks that you could get with it. But is that what you're thinking? Show them the
Yeah,
menus
just
and
to focus on the drinks.
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of food we still haven't eaten.
yeah,
That
we
I
could
know
do
you're
that.
going to eat that I won't eat.
Yeah,
So,
we could do that. Go ahead,
so
Lawrence.
that day, what time did you get to the parks? Because you didn't rope drop with Cory, but you did get there fairly early.
Yeah, the original plan. To be honest with you, look, Yeah, Steve. No, Alyssa wouldn't be able to carry me. That's for sure. Um, the original plan was I wanted to go rope drop with him, and Alyssa laughed at me. She goes, "I'm not doing it. I'm not waking up. Blah blah blah." We have 2 cats and we have a rabbit, and I'll be honest with you, I should be helping Alyssa more. I go to sleep really late. I practice until sometimes 2 in the morning. So I, I don't know why I'll wake up at 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, but I wake up and I can't move. So I'll just stare at the phone and read emails and the terrible news that's happening for that day and not fall asleep, but I won't move until like 10 o'clock in the morning and leave her to deal with the cats and the bunny, which is a pain in the neck. So it takes her a while to do that. But, you know, I have to get better at that and help her. We'll get out of the house quicker. But the plan was I told Cory, I thought I would rope drop with him. And to be honest with you, if Alyssa didn't want to go, I would have woke up at, uh, he got there at 9. I would have woke up at 7:30 and been there at 9. I mean, I can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Dana says she's curious now. Have we ever noticed anybody that has been maybe overserved at the parks and have to have been thrown out or anything? I haven't seen that, but walking through the World Showcase at times, you'll hear some people a little bit rowdy, and we'll look at each other and say, "Okay, they had a little too much."
All right. I've seen them outright plastered. To be honest with you, I really, the drinking around the world thing is, everybody gets the shirts off Etsy and all. I don't think that should be the reason that you go to the food and wine is to get plastered, and not be able to walk. But if you go to Epcot on a Friday night, if you go and watch in the countries on a Saturday night, you will see drunks. They are whooped. I'm telling you, we've seen it. And Little Miss Disney, these people do not care about how much it costs
Mm-mm.
for them for alcohol. If you go to every stand, and some people do, and you buy a drink or you buy a flight, which is 3 at every stand, by the time you get through 1/4 of Epcot, you're drunk. I mean, there's no doubt about it. And we've seen it. We've seen people, you know, uh, acting stupid with their children. We saw one couple. The guy was literally throwing his baby in the air. He was completely out of control. His wife is yelling at him, "What are you doing?" Baby's going up, and he's catching the baby. You don't want to drop the baby.
Yeah, some
Uh,
do not know
we,
their limit,
we
or
got Dole Whip Dave.
they just
Yeah.
want to
Oh,
make
hold
it.
on. Yeah, Lawrence, we didn't, Cory, we didn't say anything about Dole Whip. We did the other day, but Dave is here now.
There will be no Dole Whip consumed in this podcast, but we're glad he's here.
All right, let's talk food.
Yeah.
So what was the best thing you had that day?
The best of the fest, without question, is the nitro sweet potato, for sure. I was trying to get the I was trying to pull up the let me pull up the actual title of it, or the name of it. It was, let's see, that was at the Swirled Showcase, and it was liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse with candied pecans and caramel sauce.
Yes.
I mean, the process was fun to watch. It was so good, and I'll never forget what Shirley Renee said, who was with us. "This is Christmas in my mouth." It was beyond a 5 out of 5, really tasty, and we're going to get that into Tammy's mouth next time we're there, and Jacob's and Jill, hopefully. That was the best. What do you think, Neil?
Okay, I tasted that. Alyssa loved it because it is gluten free. But you see, you haven't eaten everything yet. So we did go
Well, I say
the
so
other
far.
day. Yeah, the other day we went over to uh, what is the booth with the lobster and the shrimp?
Coastal Eats.
Coastal Eats. And we got the lobster and the shrimp cocktail. Oh my goodness. The lobster is different this time. The lobster tail is bigger than the last time. And remember how much you like the lobster tail in the
Yes.
last festival? Okay. We were all blown away by the lobster tail in the last festival. It's better now. It's bigger, and it comes with a garlic butter. I have a feeling you're going to change your mind. But from that day, for you, it was the best. I didn't eat much that day that really made me crazy. I didn't. I'm being honest with you. I ate more when we went on. I guess that was Sunday. Sunday, yes. Uh, but I do believe you might switch to either lobster or the shrimp cocktail. And if I remember correctly, the shrimp cocktail that we had the last time, it was like the shrimps were a little mushy. They weren't like crunchy. This time, excellent. It was excellent. So Coastal Eats at the moment, is going to win for me. Definitely. But there's so much more for us to eat.
Yeah.
There's so
The
much more.
Macatizers booth. The Macatizers booth so far. And I did have the Impossible chili mac and cheese. That was a 5 out of 5. And, that was a sweet thing that I said is the best of the fest. Maybe right now for me, the cheese mac and cheese is the best savory thing. That was really good.
You did the Impossible, Neil?
Yes, I did it. I didn't do it. Cory had already been in these booths when we showed up. So I had it on Sunday, and I thought the Impossible chili mac and cheese was delicious. Was delicious. Absolutely. Anybody that doesn't eat red meat or pork, if you're a vegetarian or whatever. Well, no, a vegan wouldn't eat the cheese because it is real cheese. Okay, so if you're vegan, you wouldn't eat it. If you're vegetarian, you can. And I'm sure there are people in our chat that are very diet conscious about what they eat. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Uh, the Impossible tasted like real meat. And it's interesting because they call it Disney's Impossible. So I think Disney might have like an in with the Impossible company. It's interesting. Impossible is its own brand.
Right.
And it says Disney's Impossible. So we got to look into how they write the word Disney with it. I'm wondering if they bought into it or something.
I have a theory. It might go along with other things Disney does with concessions. Maybe they combine the Disney name and Impossible, put it together, because you notice on the boards, I said to you, right? I'm like, look at this. It looks like they've kind of like made their own logo to mesh them both together. Maybe they're getting these dishes free, the ingredients they need free and they're advertising the Impossible name. Maybe they're giving Disney the supplies.
It could be because there's Beyond Meat. Beyond is a brand, and Impossible is a brand. I don't remember when they first started doing it, a couple of years back, when they started doing the festivals again. I don't remember them saying Disney's Impossible. It was Impossible. You
No,
remember? Some
I
of the
think
booths
this
were
is
just
new.
yes, this is new. So there must be some kind of collaboration they're having. I think it's very cool. I mean, at least they care enough to actually do this.
True.
And folks, truthfully, when you think about this, and I know Disney's going through a major thing that happened by Raglan Road. They're going through a major problem they're having at Raglan Road with an allergy. But And I know we had what is her name? The young lady that was on in the podcast that deals with the allergies.
Ashley.
Yes, we had Ashley. In Alyssa and my experience, if you have a dietary consideration, Disney grounds are an amazing place for you. Be it being vegan, vegetarian, having a gluten intolerance, uh, peanuts. They're extremely careful. What happened over at Raglan Road, and I'm now questioning what my own son said to me, because there was some thought that Disney might train the people in these places. I do believe that only the Disney-owned restaurants in Disney Springs are trained by Disney. I think Raglan Road is its own entity, and Cooks of Dublin is its own entity. And I'm sure Disney would love them to stick to their standards, but I don't know if they have to. And we will look into this so we could get the answers. I'm really curious.
Yeah, but
So
didn't we hear
go ahead.
didn't we hear on Flamingo Crossing that even your chains, like your Starbucks and Wendy's and all those that sit there, like they have to go by Disney standards, and it's hard for them to just open their stores like they normally do, right? Don't they have to
Yes,
follow a lot of rules?
yes. It takes forever to open a restaurant or a business, on Disney property, if it's not Disney owned. And I know that which place was it? Firehouse Subs, in Flamingo. They couldn't open because they had to redo all the bathrooms. The bathrooms in Disney have to have electronic sinks, electronic towel holders. The flushing all has to be electronic, and they didn't do it. So they had to tear everything out and redo it. And that's why a lot, we wonder why it takes so long, for certain things to get done. They have stringent rules, but I don't know if that applies. Like, I don't think when you go to line in Flamingo, that those people, there's nothing about them that's Disney. You know, They're not hired through Disney. All they're doing, these companies or restaurant brands, is they are leasing them, and I think they run their own business.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah.
that's what it is.
So I'm sure everybody that is on here watched that stream. First of all, kudos to Cory for doing a 12-hour stream that day. That was great. I mean, I turned on the stream, left and went to work, came back, I don't know, 6 hours later, and he was still streaming, and went another 4 or 5 hours after that. So that was a great day for sure.
He was tireless.
Yes. Now we need to obviously talk about Brewing Lab and how that all came to be, because that was I turned you on. I was in the car driving home, and so I turned you on, and I'm listening to Neil talk about the wings and how sweet and smooth they were. No heat on those at all, right, Neil?
Okay, so we go in. Alyssa was really the one who wanted to go in there. She wanted the peanut butter and jelly wings, which we all loved. I mean, they've been there. I think this is like the third festival we've been to where we've had those. And I knew we were going in there, and I'm like, well, last year we did it. Jacob was there. I had tried it originally with Lucas, and I knew it was going to be painful when we did it with Jacob, Cory. So I knew that, like, we're in there. We got to do it. We got to get these wings, these ghost pepper wings that are probably going to ruin the day, or at least an hour or two, or maybe 24 hours. You never know. And we got to do it. So we go in there, and I said, "Listen, I'm getting the wings." And Dana, you, I know you're being sarcastic in there. I do not like hot food. And I actually don't like curry. To be honest with you, I don't like curry. Uh, you know, when we go to Sanaa, if you go lunchtime at Sanaa, that's a restaurant in at not in Animal Kingdom, uh, at oh my God, the DVC by Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Kidani Village?
Kidani Village, right. So Sanaa's in Kidani Village. You know, it's Indian, African, Indo-African food. And there's a lot of stuff with curry. But for lunch, they have other dishes that aren't curried up. Dinner, you do get it. And I'm always like, I love the bread service, though. I love the bread service, but I'm not thrilled like the buttered chicken and all. I just don't like that feel. Resort budgeting. The sunglasses are actually reading glasses, so I could read what you're doing. I am not a movie star. Believe me, I was a movie star about 30 years ago. Not anymore. You know, I'll tell you the movies I was in. I'm just kidding. I was never a movie star.
Sunglasses at night. Wasn't that Cory? What's his last name?
Cory Hart?
Cory Hart. Thank you.
I wear my sunglasses at night. So I knew we were going to have these wings, and I felt bad that Lucas and Jacob weren't there to partake in the joy, you know. And Cory actually was texting Jacob, and Jacob was like, "I don't know about this, you know. I don't think I'm going to do it again this year." I'm like, "Oh, sure, here we go, Jacob, you chicken." You know, and you know, I know Lucas is going to go for it when he comes here. Unfortunately, I'm working Saturday, and they're going to Epcot on Saturday, so he's going to have them without me, and I feel bad about that. I would have loved to have suffered with him, but so I went, I ordered. You know, Alyssa wanted the peanut butter and jelly wings. She wanted the creamy garlic, whatever wings they have, and I got the other wings. But I also got the pickle fries. They moved the pickle fries over there now from the fry booth, which was a good idea because those pickle fries and the pickle shake were a savior. So if you watch the stream, I saw Tiger Girl said she saw me turn 3 different colors. I did not do that with makeup. The colors I turned were real. Now, let's just Cory, can you just read what it is? I'm sure. Do you have the ingredients?
Yeah, I can pull that up quick. Let's see.
I should have put the pamphlet. We have so many of them. Alyssa took a handful of them.
That's right. I love the app. I love this app. I can just pull it up in a heartbeat. So it's the Impossible Buffalo Chicken Tenders with blue cheese celery. Oh, nope, sorry. Wrong one. Where'd it go? It's in the brewing. Okay. The unnecessarily spicy yet extremely tasty Carolina Reaper pepper curry wings with creamy cucumber raita.
Okay. All right. So the peppers. Now we had it the year before. Now what's interesting is.
Did you see my text?
Yeah.
He just cut the expired.
I love little Miss Disney and her comments. She knows I love what she brings to the channel. And she said, it's a bonding dish. And that's what I said too, right? I mean, you don't get these on a football Sunday to sit back and comfortably eat a basket of wings. You do this with your buddies.
Right.
And your family.
Right.
All right, I've got breaking news. This is no joke. Alyssa just walked in, and you know we have inside information in our family. I don't know how many of you know what the Disney Aspire program is. The Disney Aspire program is a program where if you work for Disney, they'll pay for your college, It could be 2-year, it could be 4-year. I don't know if they will do a technical college. Maybe they will, or they'll do your master's. Well, they have just ended the Aspire program. This is fresh off the presses, Lawrence. You might want to look it up. Now, I believe what they will do now, they'll give you $5,000 to pay for stuff. $5,000. Yeah, that's one of our sons, Benjamin, who graduated. I'm blocking the other one. So they'll give you $5,000. So our son got a master's degree from the University of Central Florida and paid nothing, not a penny. They'll now give you $5,000 of what you want to do with it.
No more masters at all.
And no more master's degree. That's the bomb that just hit right now. That's unbelievable.
Wow.
That's impactful to me because I've been in Jacob's ear about following through with that at some point, and now it's dead. Wow. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. It's money behind it. That's greed.
Cory, we went to the Harbor House 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and I ordered the trio. Okay? I ordered the trio, and we're talking food. I like the trio. It came with 2 chicken strips, 2 pieces of fish, and I guess 4 or 5 shrimp, fried shrimp, and the hush puppies. Now, I don't know how many of you heard about the hush puppy controversy, but they were going to cut the hush puppies completely at one point, but people went crazy. So we order it. Well, Alyssa got her gluten-free stuff. I ordered that. She had salmon. I get it, and I look at the plate, and I'm like, what is this? There was 1 piece of fish, 1 piece of chicken, and less shrimp. So one of the chefs came out, and he was going to get a soda or water, and I looked at him and I said, did they make a mistake here? There's less food. What happened here? The price was the same. The price did not go down. And I love Disney, but the guy goes to me, I'm sorry, the menu changed. I said, the menu changed? So I said, are you telling me that the change of the menu is less food for the same price? And he kind of he's looking down. He couldn't even look me in the eye. And I said, listen, dude, I don't think it's your fault, No. I understand it's not coming from you. I said, but boy, it just goes along with a lot of stuff that, people are a little bit upset with, that come on a Disney vacation, and it all started with the transportation from the airport being cut, and it just seems to be hitting little things. And well, Brian, this is not the college program.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, my son did the college program also. But remember, Brian, I don't know when you did it, but the college program, you have to pay a fee. That's first of all, and second of all, when you're living on their grounds, that Disney takes rent from them. So basically, when you're in the college program,
it's a lot too. It's a lot of money.
Right. You need somebody to help you out financially when you're in the college program. You're doing it for the experience, and it's going to cost you money. But this is the Aspire program, and you could look it up. Look, I don't know how many colleges you can get $5,000 from and get a degree. Can you get a degree for $5,000? I don't know. Maybe you can. The universities that I know of, I think $5,000 will get you through maybe a term.
If that.
That's not a lot of money. Yes, Dana, new menu is the same menu with smaller portions. Take away the question mark, Dana. it is what it is. Yes. Roderick, I saw you wrote something before, and I agreed with it, but I didn't say anything. What else is going on here? I was responding to the post from Fred. Is the DIZPod no longer being posted on the Amazon podcasts?
So, Brian, the new episode should be going out. Typically, what happens is after this episode, the next day, I go and post them on the we use Spotify, and that pushes it out to Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon. So you should be finding it there, but certainly watch it here on YouTube because um, you know, it's video and we can add in so much stuff, and we think that it's better here. But if you want to watch on Amazon, you certainly can. Also, you could also listen on YouTube. I'm sorry, I said watch on Amazon. You can't. You'd have to listen to it. But you can also listen on YouTube, and then there's just a little button. If we were talking about something and you wanted to see it, you can just switch over to video real quickly and then go back to audio if you wanted. But
All right, I just wanted to give you that little information. I mean, I know a lot of you have children who might work here, and the Aspire program was a phenomenal thing. And it's interesting because I know we have friends and their son works at Target, and Target is paying for his education. I'm kind of shocked that they made this change, but I'm not shocked because my piece of fish and chicken tell the story. Everything is relative. Things are going on here, and you know what? It's interesting. I know everybody blamed, Bob Chapek on everything, but folks, let's take a close look with a magnifying glass. He's been gone now for quite some time, and the changes we're seeing have nothing to do with Bob Chapek. Okay?
It's true, right? It's like there's anything he's added, nothing's been taken away. I think the biggest change, they kept, paying for fast passes. They kept that. They kept having to make park reservations. They kept that too. So they haven't changed much. The biggest, well, I don't know if it's the biggest thing, but I do think Iger has done a good job in scaling back the projects, right? He said way too many projects out there going. We need better quality. We're going to scale back Star Wars, Marvel, all that stuff. So he's reshaping, but it's sad that they have to get rid of that Aspire program.
But some of the changes that Neil's talking about are things that can be done much quicker, right? Like, Villains Land, Cars, and all that. That was planned for a long time, right? That was blue sky, and they finally started to work it out, and then finally announce it. But the stuff he's talking about, like a menu change, that's a recent thing that was decided since Iger's come back. There's no question in my mind. So it's those things that you have to, watch. Who's paying for Cars Land and Villains? It's all of us by the shrinkflation that's been going on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I read a whole thing today that, Josh tomorrow, there's two people that they're looking at to succeed him. And Josh is one of them. I know you really like him, Cory. But he is in charge of parks and experiences, and he's got his hand in all this stuff that we're seeing. He does. And he can take the compliments for the good things that occur, but we do have to look at him. I know he greeted everybody, when the parks reopened, and he was there the day the parks closed, the night, and said goodbye to everybody. I mean, I saw you waving to him. Robbie was there also, but there's a little bit of, devil in all these folks. A lot of the stuff that folks are, have gripes about, and you don't hear or listen to and I ever gripe about it really, but it's interesting, very interesting. Dana, that's an interesting question.
I don't see any price increases that I've noticed or anything like that with Universal yet. I think they're just gonna probably hit us with, they're taking a long time to announce what they're gonna do with us annual pass holders. It's really strange at this point, right? So, I think that they're gonna just hit everybody, in their pocketbooks with ticket prices at the door.
There's no doubt that one morning we're going to wake up as Universal Pass holders and we're going to get slammed. They're not building this third park for charity. They are trying to dig into Disney's pockets. Uh, there's no doubt about that. But Universal is run by, CEOs and people beneath them, just like Disney is, and inevitably, the bottom line is what they earn. And we're going to see. You'll see. There will be tweaks, even there. I'm sure. Like I don't know what Horror Nights cost. I didn't look. We get one with our pass, but I'm
It's
sure it went
ridiculous.
up
I
from
mean, a
last year.
family of 4, we backed out because we're paying for other things right now, like trying to get Jacob to Japan. So, you know, uh, over $400, $415 for a family of 4 for us to go to Halloween Horror Nights. So we said maybe next year.
33% increase on annual passes at Universal. Well, Dave, we just re-upped, uh, and we do pay. Unlike Disney, where actually we just went. Alyssa and I were in Disney Springs the other day, and our passes were going to end, I believe, in a couple of days. So we redid our passes, and we do have the Incredi pass. The corporate greed, Walt would be very disappointed. Absolutely, CB. Uh, but the increase last year on the Incredi Pass was like huge. It's like $150 uh, from the previous year. This year was not that bad. It's like, okay, you could take a couple more dollars from us. It's all right. But last year was a big increase. They really hit us up last year with the pass increase. And I feel bad for you folks that aren't Florida residents because Alyssa and I, we're okay because with the Incredi Pass, we don't have to pay for it up front and there's no interest.
Mm-hmm.
So the cool thing, there's no, I mean, there's no real break. You don't get a break on the Incredi Pass level. They don't give you money off, but they let you pay it out without interest. And that saves you money. So we did it. I know, I am sure the next time we do Universal, I'm waiting. It's going to, we have the top pass at Universal also. I'm sure it's going to be a major bummer and be painful. It will be painful. Back to food.
So let me put this question up here.
Go ahead.
So Kim Patton wants to know, do you think they'll ever bring back the celebrity chef demonstrations during Food and Wine? Have you heard anything? I thought they might be using the new building for that.
She's right about that. That wasn't that even part of concept art that would be an area where they would do chef demonstrations?
It sounds
Boy, I don't know. I would
But you
think
do
if they
see
were
them
going to do
cooking.
it, they would have done it.
Yeah, but you do see them cooking though. That's one cool thing
Yeah.
about what they did there.
Yeah, but what she means is, do you remember the Golden Dome where you'd go in there and they would literally have a chef with a microphone, to their cheek, and they would do cooking demonstrations. So
I remember.
we haven't seen that probably since before COVID, right? So I'm gonna say no. I don't think it's coming back anytime soon because they would have done it with this festival, with Communicore.
And I think it cost them money. It's going to cost them money to get the celebrity chefs there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. It's going to cost them money. I mean, they're cutting things. Are they going to go ahead and, before they do that, my preference would be for all you folks that come here, bring back the bus. Bring back the Magical Express. The
I,
heck
I
with this other
said
stuff.
I still said that they could cover the cost of that by increasing the hotel room $10 a night. No one would ever see that, and no one would feel that. But giving them the free transportation would feel like such of a benefit, um, and a freebie, that you wouldn't even realize that your all-star went from 188 to 198 a night. You wouldn't think anything about that. So I think if they want to make it, it certainly would be a marketing ploy to include that for free. So we'll see. I mean, they did it with the park, the water park. You get the free water park starting next year on the day that you check in. That's not a free thing that's costing Disney. I say bring back the bus, make us pay for it. We wouldn't even see it.
I believe that truthfully. What now? I'm trying to read what Dana wrote here. Uh, I see what you're writing there, Little Miss Disney, about a rumor that Disney will get a version of Express Pass soon. Do you mean like at Universal where you pay above your ticket another $120 or so? I don't think anybody in Disney's going to go for that. That's per person. So for a family of four, people are complaining about the way it is right now at $25, $30, depending on what day and if it's a holiday or whatever, to get, you know, their system. But an express pass would be a fortune. Now I want to go back to what Dana's writing here. Hold on.
Yeah. For Cosmo official, they said, may we have any information on the Galactic Star Cruiser and what the new building may replace? There is zero news to my knowledge on that. It's just sitting there. We pass it week after week, and it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's another horror.
And Cosmo,
It's a
I
horror
did
because
the link.
yeah. Hopefully they have the air conditioner on and it's not getting moldy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Lawrence?
Cosmo, you were asking about the multipass. We actually did the week that it came out. We actually did a podcast episode on the single pass and multipass. I put the link in the chat so that you can go back and watch that one, because we went into. I even did a demonstration on how to do your selections and all that. So feel free to watch that one, and you should get some info. And if you have other questions, feel free to ask.
So what Dana was saying was, can you speak to the fact that diehard Disney people that are abandoning the resorts and parks for other vacation options like Universal exclusively? What happened in your estimation? I think you have three different types of people. You have people that are diehard Disney, people that are diehard Universal, and people that dabble in both. Neil and I dabble in both, but our heart is more in Disney. And Disney, Universal has their own crowd, right? Universal, it's the teenagers, it's the adults. There's no place for families, younger families in Universal overall. So Disney's always going to get their people. So I think the only people that can kind of make that shift is families with teens, older kids. So I don't know if that answers that question.
Well, so a couple weeks ago, the numbers came out of and we actually did a part of
We broke it down.
Yeah. But then, I think a week after that, the numbers came out. I mean, Magic is the most visited park in the world by far. There is no Epic is going to put a dent into some of the parks, but it's not going to put a dent into Magic like like some people are saying. That you're not going to hurt Magic. It's just it's where everybody goes. Will it put a hurt on Animal Kingdom? Yeah. Hollywood? Maybe. But it's just Disney's the most visited place. It's just it can't come close.
I don't know, Dana, where you're hearing this. I'm being honest with you. We go to Universal, we go to Disney, we go to SeaWorld. I mean, there are times when SeaWorld is super crowded also. But the price point, Dana, remember, so it's kind of like this. SeaWorld's the cheapest to go for a day. Then you've got Universal, then you've got Disney. And I don't see people abandoning Disney to go to Universal. Maybe if you're a Potter freak, maybe. Otherwise, no. I just in our community, nobody's leaving Disney to go to Universal. I mean, they might decide, oh, you know what? I think I'll spend a couple of days at Universal this time. My kids really like uh, Harry Potter.
Mhm.
All right, cool. You know, if you're into like the horror nights, the Halloween horror nights, it's completely different than Mickey's Not So Scary. You can bring your baby to Mickey's Nights Not So Scary. You can't bring them to horror nights. For the older crowd or somebody who's disabled, Universal has psychotic roller coasters. Even SeaWorld. When you go to SeaWorld, when you're getting a little older and you can't deal with the roller coasters, you're going to look at the fish. Let's be real in the shows. You're
Neil,
not going, yeah,
what
you're not
about
going upside
the version of teacups? Universal's version of teacups.
down. Yes,
Yeah,
Universal. They Alyssa
Yeah.
and Jillian went on it.
yeah,
Yes, they love that. They love that. They love to spin each other.
yeah. Not for me.
You know, no, and I think it's what you said. It's what I said. There's three types of people, and it's just going to stay that way all the time. As amazing as even Epcot, Epic might be, um, it's not gonna hurt Disney that much. And it's like Julie P said, and I always say this, right? Do you agree with this, Neil? Do you agree with this? Anyone that's been to both companies, that you can go to Universal, and we love it. There's a special place in our heart for it, but there's no magic. Why? There's no magic, and I don't know what that is, but it doesn't feel magical in Universal. There's a whole different feel when you step um, into a Disney park.
Because Universal, as much as they try and copy Disney, at one point, their competition was Six Flags. You understand? We leave Six Flags out of the equation because it's not a theme park, it's an amusement park.
Right.
Now, but the difference between Disney and Universal has done it to itself. Because I mean, they took away Jaws, they took away Back to the Future, they took away a lot of the fun rides, the original King Kong, that if you went on, when you got off, you didn't feel like puking. You know, uh, Disney, although they're starting to try and get Universal's crowd, with Tron and Guardians, even those particular roller coasters have more theming. And I'm not going to say, look, I know Velocicoaster for our kids, for Cory, it's the greatest roller coaster in Orlando, maybe in the world. It could be. I cry when I leave Disney, but not Universal. 100% agree. So Universal, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen when Epic comes. And maybe that's why Disney decided to get rid of Lightning McQueen and do the villain show. We don't know. But first of all, Universal is PG or R. Keep that in mind. Disney is G rated. Epcot and drinking is the only difference. But it's G rated. I mean, the little kids walk around, the little girls walk around as princesses. Okay? Uh, Little boys, they're Prince Valiant. You'll see Harry Potter at Universal. It's different. It's a different vibe. You know, it, it's. I think that Universal is a more grown up crowd. I'll be honest with you, and I don't mean grown up by age. I mean, like when you're going, like if you want to go and immerse yourself in intensity, Universal's more intense than Disney. It definitely is. It's a different feel. I had a friend that was heartbroken when Jaws and Back to the Future left. Granted, he loves Universal, period, over Disney. Yeah, those particular attractions made it easier for a person, who might have been in a wheelchair or handicapped or younger kids. And I know still they had a little fear factor to them. But I mean, you, if you're going on Velocicoaster, you are not going to be a 3-year-old baby. But if you're going on Small World, there's 6-month-old babies. How many 6-month-old baby things are there to do at Universal?
Right.
Where are you
Nothing.
taking your child? Where are you taking your child? To Disney or Universal?
Yep.
Until they're old enough to understand Harry Potter, where are you bringing them? Lawrence,
Ye-
where are you bringing your baby? What's your thought?
When we took Finley, I'll go back to when we first went in 2020. Finley's less than 2 years old. So she's free to get into Disney and Universal. So great. Almost everything there we had to rider swap, you know. And even now, if we took her, she'll do more of the rides, but still, am I taking her on Mummy? No. Transformers, even, I think she's going to get jostled around too much there. So there's not really a lot. That's not. I would rather spend 2 extra days at Disney than take her to Universal.
Okay, are you taking her to Halloween Horror Nights or Not So Scary?
Not so scary all day long. All day.
Okay, so
The thought of going to Halloween Horror Nights doesn't even enter my mind with a 5-year-old.
okay, so here we go, Dana. To answer your question, it's a whole. It it's like, I don't want to say cultural, but I guess it is cultural. It depends on what you dig, what you like, uh, in doing these things. And Julie P's got it there. Uh, if you want it, guys, you want to throw that up. At Disney, you see the characters that you grew up with. The OK characters are allowed to watch on TV as a little child. Universal's for older kids. So Disney steals your heart at all ages. And that's why when you leave Disney World and you're on vacation, you get that feeling in the pit of your stomach. But when you leave Universal, you say that was a cool roller coaster. It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's two different things. And don't get me wrong, I love Universal. We're paying a fortune to go to Universal. But where do we go all the time? Disney. And Universal
You know what,
is
Cliff?
only another.
Cliff from Cliff Flicks, once said on this podcast, there's why do we connect to different shows, different songs, different things in Disney? It's because when we were younger, it made a memory, it made a core memory with us, and so it always triggers it as we get older, as teens and adults. So in Universal, I think it's a lot harder to make those core memories and the super meaningful things. You can still make those when you're a teen and adults, but when you're younger and you develop those, it's stronger, and you keep going back to Disney because of that. So Cosmo's asking if in chat, if and anyone that listens, hopefully you're enjoying the podcast. We have definitely gone off the rails a bit, but it's all been very interesting, and very we're kind of addressing the chat a little bit more as we go along. Cosmo wanted to know if there's any idea exactly who is replacing the sponsor of Ford in the ride itself. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's always been Chevrolet,
It is
and
Chevy.
they're paying for this, so they're staying.
Yeah, it was Chevy it was GM originally as World of Motion.
Yes.
Somewhere along Test Track, I don't know if it was 1 or 2, became Chevy, and it will still be Chevy or GM. I mean, they're
Because
GM
it's the same, right?
company. So it's going to continue to be be Chevy from what we know. I mean, the Chevys are parked out front of Test Track right now for that
Yeah.
purpose. So yeah,
Yes.
it'll continue to be Chevy. Yep.
So Cory, I
Who-
remember when we walked up to you, you were eating the ravioli,
Yep. The pumpkin ravioli
and you seem to
and the
really like
chili.
that. Yeah,
It was
you
good.
tell them about it.
Okay, so that was over. What was the name of that booth? Uh,
I don't know. It's
I'm
right
trying to think.
across from the ice cream booth.
Let's see. That was. Oh, it was Forest and Field, I think. I think that was the autumn chili with bison lamb and pork belly. No, nope, that's the wrong one. But anyway, it was good. I really liked it. I thought that I probably gave the pumpkin ravioli like a 4 or a 3.75, if I can
Hmm.
remember correctly. But the chili, I might have given that a 5 out of 5. I gave it a 5 out of 5, I think. So, I recommended everything I tried in that particular live stream, which was 12 hours. Everything was good, and I told everybody write these all down on your list. So those were really good. I can't really find the exact booth right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
So yeah, Aaron, please. We love Universal. Don't I know you see kids of all ages. I hate to go back and forth from food to Universal. Don't, we are not offending Universal at all. Universal got my credit card and I threw down a lot of money. Uh, if asked about whether people are leaving Disney to go to Universal, you know, that I don't believe is happening. I don't think that's happening. Do I think people are going to want to go check out Epic Universe? Yeah, but they're still going to go to Disney. They're not leaving Disney.
No.
So Aaron has a 2-year-old, right? Aaron has a 2-year-old. If he was paying full park prices, would he go to Universal? Does he think Universal is money well spent? And I don't think it is because, like you said, what can you go on right now? You can take them to Seuss Land and, well, King and Kodos.
The
You
new.
can't. I wouldn't put her on ET yet. So there's not really much you can do. It's not if you're doing that, you're going for the parents are going for themselves and will baby swap all day. And that's fine if you want to do that. The kid's not going to know much different anyway. But
Yeah,
that's it's always been our thought when the kids were younger. Should we go to Universal yet? Nope, they're not ready yet.
but
But they're
Cory,
always ready for Disney.
let me say that after we did our day in Universal, and we only did one day at Universal when Finley was less than 2. After that day, we went back to the hotel, and I was like, I feel like I don't know, I just felt bad, like, because Finley went and spent most of her day there in the stroller. She wasn't getting on a lot of rides. She wasn't, I mean, she was doing rider swaps, so she stayed in the stroller most of the day. So very different from her experience at Magic or Epcot or Animal or Hollywood Studios even. So, I mean, I remember her at 2 years old running around Animation Courtyard there, burning off some energy. And then we went and did the Disney Junior Dance Party and, Toy Story. And we took her on Toy Story Mania. Or did we? Maybe we didn't. But that's one of her favorite rides now is Toy Story Mania, Buzz Lightyear. She loves all that stuff. She's not going to say the same thing about Universal. It's just different. It's a different.
I will say, yeah. So here it is in a nutshell, Aaron, and this is a direct quote from one of the shows at Universal, which I love, the Monster Makeup Show. When you come into Universal and you're in the Monster Makeup Show, one of the actors says, now obviously there's a lot of blood, they have the fake knives, they've got the monster parts. If you've ever been there, it's hysterical. It's hysterical. It's very funny. But the actual makeup artist, which is an actor, says, I can do that here. This isn't Disney World.
Right.
Okay? The words come out of the actor's mouth. That's why, yes, children do go to Universal. Of course, we see them. And they have that area over by ET that they redid now with the characters that dance around and all. I mean, I understand that. But it's definitely a much more mature audience. It is. It is. I mean, what are you going to say? It is. There's still more to do in Disney World for the little kiddies, going on the boat rides, doing that stuff. It's definitely no. It's no knock on Universal. And look,
Mm-hmm.
and let's be real. When the next park opens, they can do a hurting on Disney. Do I think that it will happen? No, because once you are hooked on Disney, you're hooked on Disney.
Yeah.
You're not going to leave Disney. You'll go to Universal and say, "Wow, wasn't the monsters part amazing?" Or didn't you love the How to Train Your Dragon? Yeah, but I mean, now let's come on. We'll go back to Epcot again. I'm sorry I'm doing this to you guys. And food. So there's festivals. And I know there's festivals at Universal. I know that. And sometimes the food is really great at Universal. But we get a concert at Epcot every night during these festivals.
Sure.
Multiple shows. They don't do that at Universal. Now that's true. At Universal, they give you top acts. I agree. Diana Ross was there. You see a lot of that stuff. But high cargo. Uh, but even at a festival, and let's be real, Epcot. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's not for kids." And that's a lot of nonsense. Frozen's in there now. Mexico, the land, even Soaring.
Ratatouille.
Yeah,
Finley
Soaring.
Park.
Right, Spaceship Earth.
Yep.
And,
Favorite.
and Soaring. Yep. All you got to do is put like he says in the movie, you put the yellow strap. Make sure it's secure.
Yep.
Good job, pal. Right. So even Epcot is super kid friendly. And the kids could eat the food at the festivals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just don't see, Dana or Aaron, that there's going to be a major problem that Disney is going to have. Disney's major problem is Disney itself. It's not their competition. Believe me, it's not their competition. It's the things they decide to do that can sometimes be a little menza.
And they know, although Epic will be open first before we see this other stuff, they know once Villains Land is established and Cars is in there and Monsters Land, they have nothing to worry about. Nothing. There's going to be so much for the world to see. Time, they need to take it and run with it, but it's short-lived to a degree, I think.
Yeah, and yes, Little Miss Disney, Figment also. Let's be real. The 1.5-year-old that's been in the sun for 4 hours straight because the parents paid either at Universal or Disney $150, $200 for a ticket. That baby's crying in Disney or in Universal. The crying factor will be the same. At a show, the child will go up on the shoulders, the same. But you'll never, I mean, even by the castle, the Harry Potter castle, you'll never see a crowd like Main Street and the Hub in Universal. That's just not like that. Even the new show, Cory saw it. Lawrence, did you see the drone show? Were you in Universal
No.
to see that?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Well, even that one, there's not thousands.
It's not
of people.
crazy.
No.
No, not at all. Not even close. I'm even trying to think. I think more people on a nightly basis probably watch Luminous than what the Universal brought in for the drone show in Universal.
And it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was very well done. It's one of the best. I mean, I
Incredible.
walked out of there saying that they did it to Disney quality. I think that they did.
I remember you
Yes.
saying that.
They've stolen all of Disney's technology. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I don't know who was first. I don't want to get into it. It doesn't matter. But a lot of things that Universal does is based on Disney technology. But then again, Disney then steals Universal technology. Suddenly, the screen showed up in certain rides. It's a give and take or whatever. I guess the technology is there to be taken, and they use it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? That's the way it is. SeaWorld show. I sent clips to you guys on in the mod chat. SeaWorld show at the end of the night was phenomenal.
Mhm.
But in SeaWorld, you sit down in an arena to watch it. So there's no kids on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's sitting. Completely different feel of what you're doing. But let's be real. Main Street USA and the hub are the place to be. It was on.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon. It's crazy.
So let's hit the news here. There's a couple quick news bulletins that I wanna hit up real quick.
Just quick before we do the news. Oh, here we go. We're doing news.
Go ahead, Cory.
Oh, I was just going to say, why don't we say that the news is brought to you by our one and only Victor Naraki. If you're looking for a home that offers the perfect blend of luxury, comfort, and convenience with Disney World in your backyard, Victor Naraki is a licensed realtor with Vision Home Real Estate LLC, and he is here to help you find the home of your dreams. With over 13 years of experience in the Disney area home market and a proven track record of success, Victor is the perfect partner to guide you through every step of the home buying process. So why wait? Visit celebratingflorida.com today to learn more about Victor's exclusive range of properties and schedule a viewing with Victor. Your dream home is just a click away. And definitely check out his YouTube channel. He needs more viewers, he needs more subscribers. And you can do that at Victor Naraki on YouTube. So please go over, subscribe, check it out, and watch those wonderful live streams he does with Neil on Sundays. We are planning one with him on an early Saturday morning, which might even be a week from this Saturday. So stay tuned for that if you want to see some great new homes right near Disney. All right, now to the news.
So Disney announced that Typhoon Lagoon will be closing on November 4th, and that is the same day that Blizzard Beach will be open. They've been doing this now for the last couple of years. But they did also announce that the water park seasonal pass is back for $79 and plus tax, and that is good through May 23rd, and it's good for whatever park would be open at that point. I have only been to Typhoon Lagoon. Well, if I go way back, I went to River Country as a kid, but I've only been to Typhoon Lagoon. Had a great time. Now, probably that had to do a lot with the party atmosphere, also, but I enjoyed Typhoon Lagoon.
Typhoon Lagoon was a lot of fun. Had great time with you guys. I went when the kids were really young, daytime, but the last two times I've gone have been nighttime parties, which has been a lot of fun. I have never been to Blizzard Beach though, so when I saw this announcement today, I was like, is that a live stream? Could that be? It could be a live stream. Something to consider.
Something
I've never done it.
Yeah. This one came out of nowhere. Villains stage show coming to Hollywood Studios, replacing Lightning McQueen, and this is coming next year. So they're going to get to work on this pretty quickly. Talks about Cruella de Vil, Captain Hook, Maleficent, all breaking through the glass to take the stage in live production. Thoughts on this, Neil?
It's I when they built the Lightning McQueen thing and we went in there the first time, uh, it was the same kind of thought that I had when Epcot Forever came out. And I know, please don't yell at me. I know lots of you loved Epcot Forever. It was a filler. I thought this was a filler, to be honest with you. You go in there. I mean, I guess the little kids really like it. It's a bunch of screens. The car, I'd love to buy that car and have it in my living room and let it talk to me all day long. I think this is going to be great. Bringing another show. Disney does shows like nobody. It's going to be phenomenal. Wait, Aaron's disagreeing. Aaron, what did we strike a chord here? I disagree with this person creating a whole new villains land, and yet you're also splitting them into another park. You know what, Aaron? It's a show, man. It's a show. They've already gone ahead.
Yeah, but
You know,
you have Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. You have Buzz Lightyear in Magic. I mean, there's
yeah,
going to be some crossover.
they've already done sense to me. What does Guardians have to do with Epcot? Yeah, I mean, let's be real. You know, what did Frozen have to do with Epcot? Maelstrom was about Norway. You know, so if they've already gone ahead and made these moves that, you know, people say it doesn't fit the park. You know, it doesn't fit the park. Well, they've done it already. So the tradition is gone. Aaron, let go. Give it up, Aaron.
I'm with Neil. I'm very excited about this. I mean, I had not seen the concept art on the second picture there below. That looks phenomenal. I think this is going to have a line out to Tower of Terror for like the longest time. This is going to be great. I can't wait for it. And like Neil said, Disney knows how to do shows. This is going to be a great show. And maybe I'll be the first to say it. Maybe this show, Aaron, goes away as soon as Villains Land opens.
Could be. Little Miss Disney said, you know, it's just a taste test. That's possible. That's possible.
It could be. It could be. I mean, I'm way more frustrated by what they're doing in Animal Kingdom to Dino Land. Like what? Really? Like, I want animals in Animal Kingdom or dinosaurs. You know? I mean, and it's got nothing to do with Disney IP. I can't deal with people talking about Disney intellectual property. They own it. They could do whatever they want with it. It is theirs. It is theirs to do what they want with. Cinderella, Snow White, it's theirs. They own it. Bambi, they own. Whatever they want to do, they can do. Animal Kingdom, though, just the word animal kingdom. I want to see more lions and tigers and bears and and dinosaurs. So to take a stand against a show in Hollywood Studios, it's a show. That's what Hollywood Studios is supposed to be. Give me back the great movie ride, please. No, please give me back more Hollywood. It's a show. Who cares if it's, it's something new, it's something fresh. But I mean, be mad about what they're doing in Animal Kingdom. I don't get it. Will I go? Of course.
Along that line, Neil's going to be really happy with this one. More permits have been filed for work on Dino Land.
We're doomed.
According to the permits, the permits are for work to remove backstage buildings. No timeline set yet, of course, on the closure of Dino Land or the opening of Tropical Americas. We actually went on Monday to pick up our magnet from Animal Kingdom, and it was at Chester and Hester's. So we walked through Dino Land, and there's a lot of empty space there. When they took out, gosh, I always forget the name of the ride. The ride that was in
Oh, Primeval Whirl. Listen, man, Primeval Whirl. You talk about core memories. Jacob and Jillian and me just have some great memories together on that thing. Primeval Whirl used to be the ride. That was our closeout ride at Animal Kingdom. Night was done. And what happened was the line for Primeval World would just die out. So our goal was always, okay, if Animal Kingdom closed at 9, we'd show up about 8:40, 8:15, and just see how many times we can ride it before the park closed. So we had a lot of, it made me dizzy, but it was fun. It was something to do with the kids, and Jill loved it so much. So
Well, there was a reason that it was taken down. People were injured on it. Unfortunately, it was built improperly. I think what they call, don't they call that? It's the same as in Disneyland. The one that goes up and then it kind of goes down at what do they call it? Oh, there's a specific name to that kind of roller coaster. Although these
I called
cars
it
suck.
Mousetrap. It's like
Yeah,
Mousetrap.
it's a mouse coaster or something, right? Exactly. So uh, in Disneyland, Greg, I know you say Dinoland needs to go. Greg, if there were real dinosaurs walking around in Dinoland, I could deal with it. I'd have no problem with that. I love dinosaurs. But Greg, what is the name of the Mulholland Drive? Was it Greg, the roller coaster? Have they changed the name, Mulholland Drive, from the movie or the road?
Oh.
It's the same type of roller coaster, but there were people who got injured on that particular roller coaster, and that's why they had to take it down. I
Huh.
don't think they wanted to. I don't think they wanted to take it down, but they had no choice. Too many people
Lake
got hurt on
Bryan
it.
Vista. Lake Bryan Vista was saying, Cory, you need to do a Relive in Diz Primeval World vid. We have a POV of Primeval World. I have not seen that in forever. I think if you just look up Living in Diz, you can find it.
Yeah, I watched it recently because I had not seen that ride. I didn't get to go on it, so I actually watched that POV recently. Yeah.
Lawrence, can we upscale that thing to higher quality and put it out again?
Whirl in 4K.
Yes. So, all right, go to this. I'll say quick. Dinoland for me is really a dead place. It's time to redo something, but maybe it didn't have to be what they announced. I'm all for Reese if they would have come out with, the greatest technology for animatronics and come out with a really cool land, then that I would have signed off on that.
Hmm.
So Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. All of the dates in September are now sold out. There are only 12 dates remaining in October. Obviously, October 31st was the first one to go. Well, it was either the first party or October 31st that were the first to go, but the two of them went right away.
Yeah.
So you've got some dates left in October, and my family is still deciding, but we better decide quickly because they're going pretty quick.
I think the
Yes.
reason for the September dates being sold out, Alyssa and I were looking into it. So what happens is the earlier you go, the cheaper it is.
Yep.
The closer you
Yep.
get to Halloween, the more expensive it gets.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like if you went in August in 100-degree heat, you were getting a bargain.
Right.
Maybe not the first night or whatever. You were getting a bargain compared to what it costs, later on. It's just more expensive. So I bet you these 12 remaining dates are a premium.
Oh yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. It continues to go up as you get closer to Halloween, like you said. So yeah, there's only a few left. So yeah, we're gonna have to decide that. We're working on it. We'll
We are going on October 3rd, which is a Thursday, everyone. So we'll be covering that one too, just like we did last week.
Nice. Next, talking about parties, opening night of Christmas. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party has already sold out. November 8th is now sold out, and it didn't sell out last year until like 10 days from now. So party tickets are going much, much faster. So if you plan on going, get your tickets.
Okay. We went when we did our passes and we looked at the Very Merry Christmas Party. Alyssa wanted to go. So there's a date that our son is going already. We looked at that date on Black Friday. $211 per person. No
Wow.
discount.
That's
No
a huge
discount.
increase.
Wow.
Huge.
211, no pass holder discount. What do you think? We said
So
no. With
Well,
yeah,
tax, it's
and
almost $500.
well, Neil, you and I talked about it a little bit. The if you're going, and you obviously have gone, if you're going to the parks Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, you get the you don't get the cookie stroll, but you get the parade, you get the fireworks, you get the ride overlays that are during the party. So you miss out on a little bit of the atmosphere, but you get those core pieces of it. So yeah, if you're going to be in the parks Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I'd take that and run with it.
Yeah, look, we might go a different date, and not go with our son and his friends. Um, and now, Alyssa said something about going to, the Halloween party. We'll see. I mean, like we were talking in the beginning, we do not think about spending money when we go to Disney, but when you're going to blow $500 on a night, it's kind
Hmm.
of like I already spend $320 a month on my passes. I'm spending like over 4 grand for a year.
Right.
Now I'm going to throw out $500 at night.
Yeah.
Really? Now, but there are people that do it, and more power to them. You know what? If you love it, then you should do it. What am I going to say? But it's sold out opening night, and I'm sure they will sell out many more.
Yep.
People love it.
Noah James in chat says, I ask if there is any public transportation to Disney World, public buses from the airport.
So there
Lawrence.
technically is, I don't remember the number, but there is a bus that will take you from the airport to Disney Springs. So it will get you to Disney Springs. Now, the issue is that if you were going on with luggage, once you get to Disney Springs, you can't take a Disney bus with your luggage to your resort. But if were packing light, then you could certainly do that and get to Disney's property for $2. But my family always takes the Mayor's Connect, which is $16, and it gets you right to your resort.
Take
Okay.
Mayor's Connect. Do not take public transportation. You can do it. Mayor's Connect will take you right to where you're going. Uh, they, it's not nothing against bus drivers. Please, I don't want to get hate mail. We love all the bus drivers, but it's not a city bus driver. It's a
Hmm.
private company, and Mayor's has already had experience with transporting Disney people.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they haven't changed their style. I'm sure they make it very welcoming and as magical as they can.
Yep.
I don't think you're going to feel that magic on an Orlando city bus.
Agreed.
No. All right, Lawrence, did we say it all?
We have said it all. I want to thank Neil for being here. This was great. We've been waiting a long time to have him on the show. You know that Neil is known for our Zoom calls that we have on LID. And so, very appropriately, I'm going to show you all this. Everybody in chat, you are our superhero. You are what makes this show. You make it entertaining for us. You make it entertaining for people watching and listening. And your interaction is really what creates the show. So, in October, we haven't set the date yet, but in October, one of those weeks is going to be Viewer Week, and we are going to introduce a new feature with our show now on the DIZPod channel. We can actually have a Zoom room going on while we are doing the show. And so all of you in chat can be in a Zoom room and interact with each other. And we will be bringing people on to be part of the show, similar to how Neil was tonight. So look for more information on that as we get ready to roll that new feature out. But we're excited to be able to share our show with all of you.
Yes, our way of saying thank you and interacting with all of you. which will be a lot of fun. So start to think if you want to be involved in that, and more details coming.
That
Great.
sounds really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You
We're
folks
And
out there,
I
yeah,
have to
you
plug.
are the most important thing. There's 80 people right now, 80 of you watching, and you know it's 10:05. You've been here the whole time. Truthfully, if it was just Cory and Lawrence asking me, I'd say no, no, it's your show. But you guys, you bring me in here, and that's why I'm here. I'm here because you made me want to be here. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're absolutely welcome, and as a viewer, I thank you for coming on.
Same.
My pleasure. Hanging out with my
Same.
buddies.
Hey, we love Neil. Neil is family to us, and I get to hear Neil talk more than any of you. I get bonus.
Unfortunately.
Sometimes when in my private life, I'll say, I really want to call Neil. How much time do I have? Oh, I just have 15 minutes. That's not enough. I got to call him later. Yes.
Well, you guys
All right.
we're gonna have to, we'll have more food. Remember, this is a huge, huge festival. There are more booths, brand new booths. I mean, the Australia booth is a temporary booth because they're not even done with the other one, the formal one. There are tons of booths. There's tons of food to be eaten. Uh, Now, when are you going back to Epcot again, Cory?
We're going back a week from this Saturday because Tiffany is performing, and maybe we'll see 2 shows. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Plenty of food.
I don't think I'm performing. Yeah.
You're
Well,
not?
you're gonna have to
So
eat a
it's gonna
lot
be.
more food.
Wait, you're performing? You think you're performing on the 14th?
No, I don't think so, but I'll have to look. But I think you have a lot more food to eat.
Oh, yeah. You gotta come. It'll be so much fun. Kimberly, from Park World Radio says, "Yes, great show, Neil and the DIZPod more often." So we'll have to get you on more often. And if I can plug the LID Club, I talk to you all the time about the different levels we offer for the LID Club. And that $9.99 option, if you really enjoyed this and you would like to talk amongst us and Neil and some of our other Skyliner monorail members, this is exactly how the Zoom calls go. And that's why they go for 6 hours, because we just sit and talk Disney, and it's that much fun. So definitely consider it if you want. I don't even care about the money side of it. It's just if you want to have a lot of fun, that's what we do once a month. So you can always bump up your membership, give it a try, and that's exactly how it goes down. So
Well, and just one other thing, Jen, just so you understand, you it's my fault that you might feel like it's a Zoom call because once again, and I'm being honest with you, I'm here because of you folks, and I'm looking at what you're writing and trying to cater to what you're saying, and that does take the guys off track, and I'll apologize to them in private about that. But my philosophy is plain and simple. You guys matter the most. And I know that's the way Lawrence and Cory feel, but sometimes they have an agenda. I don't have an agenda. So I could kill their agenda, which is one of the reasons I hesitated on joining. It's not what I want to do. But if you felt comfortable tonight, I'm happy about it, and I hope the guys are. And please, just support them. Whether I'm here or not doesn't matter. Be here and have a great time. All righty.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
So you
Thank
are
you, Neil.
Saturday, this coming Saturday, right? Is that the next time you live?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
we are live from Magic Kingdom. It is going to definitely be a later stream because we're going to see Spider-Man in concert at the Walt Disney Theater at 2. So whenever that's done, we'll head over to Magic and we'll go live. And you'll all get to see some Steve and Tony and family with us in the evening. So, something like 5:30, 6 o'clock start. but it's magic. So we'll milk it for all it's worth. 11:30. We'll get you all a good amount of time on the stream on Saturdays.
Very cool.
The
And then,
title says it all. Yeah,
yeah.
the word magic is in it. I mean, it'll be magic no matter what.
And
Yep.
don't forget the show, the DIZPod moves to Monday nights. That'll be its fall schedule. So next week we are moving to Monday nights.
Could shift to Tuesday.
So stay tuned. We'll let you know when our
Yeah,
show.
we'll let you all know what we decide next week. Should be permanent for a while. Permanent for a while. I had a shakeup. I had a shakeup in my clientele, and so I have to redo my schedule that I spent time on last week on my time off. Now it's been blown up, so I have to do some shifting of people.
All good.
So listen though, this could be better for the podcast though, because what I'm thinking is when I shift everything, we may be able to go back to a 6:30 start.
Ooh.
So
that's better.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of me not doubling up on clients and just seeing one on a DIZPod day.
Yeah.
So I think that will all work out to be better. So probably Tuesdays, everybody, but listen on Saturdays and I'll let you know, or just watch for your notifications and you'll see when we go live for the DIZPod. So once again, we want to thank Neil for staying with us. I have food to eat because I'm going to die soon, and I have a football game to watch.
Yes.
Woo.
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. Remember, we do this for you. And just keep those questions coming. I don't even remember what we're talking about next week, but it's going to be good.
Of course, it's going to be good. And definitely comment after this is over. It really, really helps. We will return your comment, and it really, really helps. So subscribe if you're new here. We had a lot of people in tonight. We appreciate everybody listening, whether you're listening live or listening on the rewatch or the replays or the re-listen. So until then, we're three guys. We're just three bros talking Disney, right?
That's it. Good night, everybody.
Good night to the live.